So we're joined with our new GM of football, Andrew Mackie. Mac, how you found the transition into the new role?
Yeah, look, it's exciting. There's lots to do. Got right into it over the last sort of 10 days. And I think, to have some really good people around and really formulate what that looks like from a footy department point of view is where my energy will be spent over the next little bit, and making sure that ultimately it's about how we get the best out of our players and have that at the forefront of my mind. But it's an exciting period for the club in lots of reasons, and obviously that change for myself is one that I'm really looking forward to.
We have the opportunity to welcome a new assistant coach to our coaching group after Sean Griggs' departure. How's the process going?
Yeah, look, it's good. The industry's strange in a way with assistant coaches. There's, Sean did a great job for us. Obviously, we're able to do some really good things last year, and he'll do a really good job at the Gold Coast. But out of that, it gives us a really good opportunity to get some new voice and new faces in our group, which will be really, really good for Scotty and our players. So I'm looking forward to who that might be. We'll have some conversations with some people over the next little bit. But yeah, all in all, it's once again, it's tied into the how do we pivot out of 2023, moving into 2024. Hopefully some real upside with how we do a few things, and one of them is what we do with our coaching staff.
So following the grand final this Saturday, the attention turns to the list management period. What are the key areas for the club heading into this time of year?
Yeah, I think we've all known from a long way out that doing some things last year, which is part of the regenerating our list, and being really aware of where we're at with some older guys coming out over the last couple of years and the next couple of years going forward. Part of that we attended to last year, which meant we probably wouldn't be as busy, in this period. We're really excited about, the pick 7 that we currently have. Excited about what the back of the draft might look like. We've got a few list spots free there. We're open to all opportunities, including certain players, and we'll continue to do that. We have done. We've got options. Whether we end up doing that or not, we'll work through in the next little bit. But all in all, I think getting some young talent in, as we've sort of kick-started to over the last couple of years, we've got a large group of sort of under 23-year-old players, and hopefully we put the right support around them, and as they get older, and turn into that middle 20s, come through together, that's going to be really exciting times. But in the next little bit we'll work through what really fits for us, and there's plenty of options, but that's all to work through.
Okay, what's the latest on Asava Radicali?
Yeah, I've been speaking to his management, and they did mention that they potentially might want to get to another club. I think I've got to try and work through what the best thing to do by our footy club is, and clearly there's lots of options in that. There's a big market for Big Asava. Clearly they see some things that we do, and including he's a well-liked teammate by our guys, gets along really well with our group. So we'll work through that in the coming couple of weeks.
Looking back at the 2023 season, we saw the promising progression from our young core group of players, which included 8 players playing their first game in the hoops. How did you see the progression of our list in 2023?
Yeah, I found it as a really progressive year. Ultimately we would love to be playing this week. That's what we set out to do. But on the back of that, the way our availability throughout the year at different times probably meant that we were able to get some games into some guys that, maybe we wouldn't have been able to do in other circumstances. So there's some silver lining in that. I felt like, we've seen some really good things out of a large chunk of them. We saw, O'Shane Mullen come in. We've seen, Tanner Bruin do his thing in the midfield. Ollie Henry's able to kick 41 goals. Max Holmes to continue his thing. There's opportunity going forward with a lot. Nevitt, Dempsey were able to play some footy. Jai Clark, albeit didn't play much, and at the end of the year we're able to drip feed Toby Conway into the team, which was really exciting for us. So I think we saw a snapshot of what our future could look like. Clearly we'd love some of the guys that weren't able to get out in the park for large chunks of the year to be fit and healthy. That's obviously what we try and do, have maximise our availability across the playing group. But within that, I think it's a really exciting period for those guys, and we're to make sure that from here the development set up around them is at a level which means we get the best out of them like we think they can do. Once again, we'll get some new talent in, whether it be through the draft or whatever that looks like, to add on to these guys. And so going forward, I think it's going to hold us in really good stead.
There's a group of premiership players out of contract, notably Tom Hawkins, Reece Stanley, Zach Tui. How are contracts talks going with those four?
Yeah, they're going well. Those guys have still got clearly a big role to play for us going forward. We talked about sort of some younger guys, and we've got some, a really good group of that middle tier players that have come along, and we need to make sure we continue that. But further to that is these bunch of guys that sort of sit above that from an age demographic point of view. It's still crucial to how we will be in 2024, albeit in different varieties. We don't need to rely on them to play necessarily every week or what that looks like. The coaches will work through that, but to all the individuals, their best is clearly really good footy, and that's what we've got to be focused on getting out of them, because we know that helps us win games.
We have the Carji Groups medal next Thursday. What are you looking forward to most about the night?
Oh, well, it's for the players that, and staff that put a lot in throughout the year. Even though you sort of don't get the result to what you all set out for, it's still, there's a lot of work that goes into a footy season, and it starts pretty early. It's an evolving 12-month thing. So it's good to put a sort of a stamp on that year. And then we pivot out of that to 2024, which is a really exciting time. It's setting ourselves up to talk before about making sure we get some things right that make sure our availability is at a level which can really help us going forward. We've got some new talent coming in, some ones that are 12 months more developed. So yes, we celebrate the winner of the Carji medal and individual performance. And then at the same time, we use it as all right, let's roll into next year. And so that's a really good time for us, and one that we should all be pretty excited by.
And finally, our AFLW team are playing some great footy at the moment. They host the Demons for the first time on Thursday night. How have you seen the development of the team under Dan Lowther this season? Yeah,
I think they're doing a great job. Like I've watched them, and I love the way they're moving the footy, getting it forward, scoring really heavily, and I think that's exciting. Like if we're playing Melbourne this week at home, Thursday night, I just hope that everyone gets down. We get a really good crowd. Public holiday the next day, the weather's good. $10 I think for adults. Kids are free. Yeah, come and see a really good game of footy. Melbourne, can't remember the last time they lost, but hopefully it's tomorrow night. I'm really enjoying watching the way they play. Dan's doing a great job. Brett Johnson, all the team down there. Meg and the girls. So hopefully that continues. But all in all, I think they're having a great year, and hopefully it continues on.